Hello, how are you doing? I'm always fascinated with honeybees. They're so well organized. I'm a nature lover. I go into the woods, observe them, and great lessons, core skills that we can learn from honeybees. There are three characters to the honeybee colony. Number one is the queen bee. Every bee hive or bee colony has got one queen bee. And she flawlessly runs the colony. And let me give you, there are three characters I said, queen bee, worker bee, and the drones. The duty of a queen bee is to mate and lay eggs. Lifespan of the queen bee is anywhere between 2 years to 7 years, depending on the species, because there is more than 4,000 species of honeybees. And the second character is the drone. The drone is only to eat and mate. Third character is the worker bee. Worker bee are all females. 80 to 90% of the bee colony consists of the worker bee. Drones anywhere between hundreds to maybe few thousands. So any bee colony has got anywhere between 20,000 to 80,000 honeybees. Now the queen bee, when she emerges out of the cell as a newborn, first 4 days the worker bees feed her with lot of royal jelly. It's called royal jelly. And then after the 8th or 10th day, she goes on a flight for a mid-air mating. And the mid-air mating is not done with the same males in the bee colony, because they are her brothers. So she flies to a nearby colony and she mates with 20 to 25 males. And she comes back to the bee colony after every mating, and then she flies back for a reason. And all the sperm of the male bee, that is the drone, is saved into her organ called spermatheca. And she is a virgin and she mates only once in her lifetime. And she comes back. The queen bee decides which egg, when she is laying egg in the cells, she decides whether it should be a female or a male. When she lays an egg in a cell, when she fertilizes the egg with the sperm from the spermatheca, it is determined as a female worker bee. The egg released and not fertilized, it becomes a drone, a male bee. On an average, she lays 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day. And throughout her lifetime, she lays almost close to 1 million eggs or 10 lakh eggs. And she is the longest living member in the bee colony. That's the first character, queen bee. The second character, drone, as I mentioned, their job is to only eat and mate. And not all the drones get to mate. If at all they mate in mid-air, after their mating, they are totally paralyzed and fall to the ground to death. And the drones live up to 6 months, depending on the season, depending on the species. And they cannot eat for themselves. They have to be fed by the worker bee. So the role of the drone is to eat and mate. And now the worker bees, they are born, and it takes 21 days for them to come out of the cell. From larva to pupa, and they are fed with little royal jelly. The jelly is called royal jelly, little royal jelly, so they become a worker bee. A queen is fed with lot of royal jelly, so she is determined to be she emerges out as a queen bee. After 21 days, when this worker bees, the 80 to 90% of the population of the bee colony, when they come out, their first job is they clean their own cells. Housekeeping. Wonderful, no? Housekeeping. They clean their cells. Why do they do it? They do it because they are getting the cell ready for the next egg to be laid by the queen. And after a week or so, their job role changes. They become nurses. They tend to the new brood which is emerging out of the cell. They feed them. They take care of them. They help them in the cleaning part. And the third part that they get into is they have the special ability to make the wax and make honey. Make honey. Not honeybee, sorry about that. Right? The third job is to build new cells using the wax glands that they have, and then they also part of making honey. At the same time, they have the job. Some of them take up the job role of guarding the bee colony. You know what? When a bee comes and stings or attacks the enemy, it could be another insect or an animal or human being, the moment it stings and its abdomen tears off and it dies. It's a suicidal effort. It's more like an army, right? Where they go into the battlefield, they don't know, but they are dedicated. The fourth job, at this point in time, let me tell you, the worker bee lives on an average of say about 6 weeks to 12 weeks, depending on the season. Usually it is between 51 days or 60 days or 70 days up to 120 days. The fourth, they mature enough to go ahead, and that's the job called foraging, food collecting. They travel miles and miles away to find the first class flowers. Collect the pollen, nectar, then they collect water, and they start in the morning and they fly and fly and fly, and then they come back before the sunset. You know what they do? They give it to they pass on the pollen, the nectar, water to the bees who are involved in honey making. these workers, you know how they communicate? They communicate flawlessly. If they find a beautiful first-class flower site nearby, those bees come in between the bees and do a waggle dance. They communicate to a waggle dance or a zigzag dance or different types of dances to communicate where there is good honey, good nectar, good pollen available. They don't withhold information. They don't say, let them go far away. What is our problem? We know where it is. They share information, very vital to keep the honeybee colony running flawlessly. And you know what? Last minute. They work till last minute. The moment they know that they are going to die, they don't stay in the the colony. They step out of the colony and they come out and die. But then they work till their last breath. Because they don't want to make the colony dirty. Bees are very hygiene. They clean, and that's exactly like, we use honey as an antibacterial or for medicines, and we use it for many uses. The lessons that we can learn from them, beautiful. Focus on right things. Their objective, their goal is to have the colony flawlessly and produce food for themselves, and of course we steal it from them. That's okay. And stay focused on the work. Next, what we can learn is they're committed. They don't blame each other during their work. They just pitch in when somebody is not able to do, or they just pitch in when there is a need. They don't say, I'm 1 week old, I'm only housekeeping, I'm 2 week old, I'm only doing feeding the babies, and 3 week old I'm making only honey, and 4 week old I'm only food collecting. No. They all, though they have the specific job roles, they support each other. There is minimal conflict. There is collaboration. There is willing communication, powerful conversations between them. You know what? They do take rest. They don't continuously work. They all do take rest. And they connect with each other. They have a brain sized of a mustard. And we human beings can learn collaboration, communication, connection, doing things very unique, creative and innovative. Only bees can make honey, right? And they don't withhold information. Sometimes I find in organizations people feel, okay, it took 5 years for me to learn this, and how would I share it with you just like that? That's not the idea. Share it. Share and care. They share and care. Final word is bees. The responsibility of a great leader is to collaborate as an organization, collaborate as a society, collaborate, communicate, connect, and do the right things, which facilitates growth and exponential growth. Great. So, I have written a book. It's called Joyful and Happy Workplace. And if you would like to have your teams to connect, communicate, collaborate in a beautiful way through adventurous and non-adventurous framework, let me know. I am there to help you all. Right? So you can order this book. either by WhatsApp to me, or you can go into Amazon, or you can order your copy. And if you like to have great workshops like Firewalk, Glasswalk, bring the teams together, bring your leadership team together. Almost close to 365 organizations around the globe, they have benefited out of the workshops. And don't forget to learn the lessons from B. Revisit, listen to it again. And please do subscribe, like, share this video. It might benefit someone. And see you soon with another video. Bye-bye, take care, have a great year ahead. Thank you.